Yo, what's going on? What's going on? It's your boy, the world famous DJ Ray G. You already know who it is next to me.
Migo JG, what's going on?
And we have a very, very, very special guest in the building. Like I really don't even know what to say. I'm just so happy for her to be here with us, ma'am. Could you just let them know who's in the building, man? Could you let them know who's in the building, man?
Hi, everybody. I am Latabia Woodward. I am the CEO and founder of Who's Got Next Music.
Mm-hmm.
I am the co-owner of Woodward Property Group, and I'm also Mama Set.
Yeah. And this person right here is just an incredible person. It just has so much going on to be, just to be here with us and now next to us. And we're just glad you're here. Thank you for coming.
Yes,
Thank you for giving us your time.
Thank you for blessing us.
Thank you for everything.
With your presence.
Thank you for having me.
I just want to tell you that we're really, really proud of everything you've done with Who Got Next Music. Like, it's just, we love it. It's dope. And where it's going and where it's gone, because you started here in Atlanta. You've already been to LA, right?
Yeah, been to LA.
That was your first one, and I know you don't do nothing once. So I already know the next one's already coming because it was very successful.
Yes. We actually started in Atlanta, and then we went to LA, and now we're about to have an event on September the 4th. At Cliche in College Park. Okay. So, and that one's just for artists only. So we did some events, but let me roll back a second and let me tell y'all.
Yeah, that was what this.
What is Who's Got Next
Music? Right.
Tell us
Let them know what it is. Let them know what we're talking about.
All right. So I started a company called Who's Got Next Music because knowing what I know now about the music business, I realized that our indie artists needed some assistance in guiding them as they come into this business. A lot of times they're young and they do not know the business, right. And a lot of times they're asked to sign these contracts that are life-changing contracts.
Indeed.
And so without money and education about that, many times they are at a disadvantage. It's completely legal, it's not underhanded business or anything like that. It's completely legal, but they're at a disadvantage because they simply don't know.
For sure.
So I wanted to come up with a fun way to actually draw artists in that could help them grow and give us an opportunity to be able to teach them more about the business. So we came up with an app that would host genre-based music competitions. And so as they're going through the rounds of competition, that actually helps them to grow their fan base, because you're an artist bringing your fans, you're an artist bringing your fans. It's aggregated, it's fan aggregated voting.
Right.
But while y'all are also going through that process, we have the opportunity in our chat community to be able to talk to them and pour into them and share tidbits about the business.
That's what I'm saying.
Right?
That's hard.
That's so hard.
So, and if you that nice and you actually make it to the second round of one of our competitions, we have a special group for you where we bring in industry pros during that week that can talk to you. So if you have questions about where you are in your journey, you get a chance to be able to ask somebody that's in the industry.
The free game.
Yes, absolutely.
And also to be able to touch something that you thought you'd never be able to touch, and which when you do that, in my personal opinion, that makes you let you know that you can get as close as you can to it. So that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's dope.
We want to make it accessible. That's the reason why we made it mobile. So it doesn't matter if you're from a small town or a big city. This is accessible to you. It's free to get onto the app. It's available in the Apple Store and the Google Store. And you can download it right now. It has a demo in there so you can see how the voting works. It's completely transparent, so you know where you stand.
Right.
Once you enter that contest. When that voting happens, you can see immediately.
I like that.
Where it is.
People don't be knowing what their music sound like. Yeah.
So this is a question that was longer down, but I guess we can ask it now. So with everything you were saying a lot of tech stuff. Is that a reason why you incorporated tech with Who Got Next Music so much? Is that why you wanted to incorporate it? I know that you like tech.
I love tech. That's my background, actually.
Right.
So that was the natural way, I guess, for me to utilize my skills as I learn more about the business, is to use my tech background to do something that would make it accessible. Right? It was important to me that this was not something that was gate-kept. That everybody had a chance to be a part of it if they wanted to be, if they worked hard enough for it.
Right.
So technology was one of the ways that we could reach people, but it's not the end, because everything is not done on the apps. The first 2 rounds are completely virtual, right? It's the first round is just your music. The second round is your video. The third round though is in person, because in having that stage presence is important, right?
And that's where I came to it.
Exactly right. So, so we have that stage presence piece where you have an opportunity to perform. We still vote on the app though. So that's the key thing, is that that the voting still happens on the app. When we have our contest, it will also be streamed, because again, we want you to win. So whether you win our contest overall or not, we want you to be promoted so you grow your fan base. Right. So there's no losers on our platform as far as we're concerned. Yeah. You're going to get feedback that you can use to get better, right? If you fall out in that first round, you need to go and work on your music.
Work on it, definitely.
Yep. You need to work on your engineering, or have an engineer work on your music. You might need that producer whose beat you use, y'all might need to collab a little better to smooth things out, rearrange some things, right? But if you fall out in that second round, you need to work on your storytelling, right?
Okay, right.
Do you have a section, like I know you said different genres, do you have a section for like producers?
Oh, the producers are a key part of our business. Key part of our business. So because our artists can't always afford to clear a sample, we work with indie producers who will allow us to leverage their beats on our platform. So when that artist pays to be in the contest, they get access to the beats database, and that producer or producers' beats that they use has to be a clean beat. So the great thing about that for the producer is the song wins the competition, the producer does too. So that means that the producer gets their own separate cash prize that is separate from the artist's cash prize, because it's important that we acknowledge all of the creators on the project. Yeah. So even on the app, if you're looking at it, you see the song name, you see the artist name, and you also see the producer or producers' names on every single one of them.
It's like, how many times does a producer make a beat for somebody who wins a whole competition with it and doesn't even know that? You know what I'm saying? So for the fact that it's like you're incorporating both, everybody gets a piece of the pie.
Absolutely.
And gets their fair share for their fair share of work.
Yeah, and as a matter of fact, when you sign up for our contest, we have in plain language what you're signing up for. And it tells you that beat that you are using, that the producer is entitled to their share if they take it commercially.
You just made a cheat code for the A&Rs, man. All they gotta do is go on the app.
Yes.
All they gotta do is go on the app.
Well, everybody come to the app, right? Tell everybody to hit the app.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tell them all to hit the app.
Absolutely.
But as well as that, like even on like the undiscovered talent that is on the app, you know what I'm saying? Like everything about it. So as in, okay, so let's ask that question. So A&R wise though, would you be able to, on your app, would you be able to connect with like A&Rs, maybe not label A&Rs, but people that are like street A&Rs, like somebody like, for say myself, I'm not to a label, I don't work for a label, but I feel like I'm really good at A&R, and I feel like
we want you there.
Right.
We want you there. We want the community there of artists, producers, any creators in that business.
Right.
We want you to be there. As a matter of fact, we invite you to come, because we want you talking to each other on that app. We think about the fact that so many new artists that do get signed, their label goes after a major artist to get them a feature, right?
Right.
That artist may or may not promote that feature, but now that new artist is in debt for a feature that may or may not have popped, right? And we're looking at that like, for artists that are starting out, why don't they learn how to build relationships and start working with people who are at their same level?
Right.
Why don't they collab on a song and push it together? You bring in your fans, you're bringing your fans, and y'all are promoting it because you both have skin in the game,
that's how
right?
you build that core following.
Exactly. Because we want you to build that fan base so you can monetize.
Exactly.
That's what we really want you to learn how to do. Get better at your craft, grow your fan base, monetize your own fan base, because we want you to do what? Build leverage. Monetization.
Keyword, guys. The word of the day is monetization.
Yes. They gotta build leverage, because if you're not desperate, then you're in a position to be able to walk away from something that does not serve you.
Yes.
Right?
Right.
So many people are in a desperate situation. I'm trying to get mama out the hood. I'm trying to pay for these babies. I'm trying to get myself together. Whatever that motivation might be, I want to be famous.
Right.
And so if you're in a position where you're already building your own, motion, then, if somebody's coming to you with this contract that is just crazy, where you don't own anything, you have no creative control, and you're not getting your royalties because you're going to be in debt forever, then you can say, nah, I'm good. I'm good. I can do it.
I got this going on.
Exactly.
Nah, for real.
Exactly. And now, because there's so many tools, there's so many avenues for artists to be able to have access to their fans if they know how to do it and if they're consistent. The labels are stepping back on some of the investments that they're making right now.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
So they're stepping back their game and saying, hey, look, if y'all can really build up on your own, we're gonna go and get the best ones out there, and then we're gonna pour into them.
Right.
But even then, they might sign you, and it depends on how many people they're signing at a time, if you'll get the attention. So it's very important for you to be able to understand the roles that are necessary for your team, so you can find people to do it yourself. You can do as much as you can until you can afford to pay somebody else.
Right.
And that is important. I know everybody's like, oh, AI is stealing everybody's job. It's a tool, y'all.
For sure.
You gotta use it.
It is a tool.
Either
use it
become
every
its
day.
friend, or
Me
it will
too.
be your
I
enemy
use
forever.
AI every day.
Absolutely. So I mean, even in this music space, I think there's opportunity. There's no need for anybody to be paying for people to do their digital artwork anymore, because they can do it themselves, or get their friend to learn how to do it. A lot of times, this B-roll that you need to do and things like that, y'all can set up your stuff, at home, and no shade to your editor there. They can learn how to do some editing at home on their own.
Your
stuff.
job on it.
Right.
Yeah.
It's on the cuff.
Well, look, you should. You should.
Exactly.
And it's just a lot of different things that people can do when they can't afford to pay somebody else right now.
Definitely.
Right? Because it's a lot of work, it's a lot of grind, but promotion is key, and it's not free. Promotion isn't free.
It's not.
So if you are finding ways to save in other ways, you can pour money into advertising for yourself.
Yes, because please explain to them that 99% of everybody's budget, like Coca-Cola, Walmart's, and everything, is advertising. It's marketing.
It's everywhere you
advertising.
go.
It's marketing.
You
That's
have
all
to.
it is. So that's the name of the game, is marketing and advertising, and how whatever is being sold. And I feel like as artists, it kind of baffles you, because you're an artist, and I don't think they understand that.
They don't.
But
How would they know?
Right. Yeah. Right.
How would they know? That's the business side of it. That's not necessarily fun for everybody, because they would much rather just be creating. But if they want to be successful, what they need to understand is that they are a business.
Nice.
That's first and foremost. Number one, if you're creating, you have something that is of value.
Mm-hmm.
Don't let anybody tell you, oh, you haven't sold enough yet, it's not valuable, blah, 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 blah. There are people who have been dead and gone for 100 years, and their music is still being used.
For sure.
Facts. That's a fact.
For sure.
So it may not be valuable to anyone but you today.
Yes.
But nobody knows what tomorrow holds. So it's better for you to own your own stuff, your own product, and you license it. License it to a label.
Oh, you giving out so much game.
Not the game. It's free game. Today's Friday too. It's free game Friday.
Free game Friday.
It's free game Friday.
License your product.
Okay.
But the only way that you can do that is if you register it yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
Don't let your stuff get stolen. Somebody else take it out from you. You can't prove that it's yours. Get your business together, from the beginning. And we want to teach you that. We want to teach you how to get your business together before you get so far out there that you're drawing a lot of attention and leaving money on the table.
I think they should have that course in college and in high school. I think they should.
Definitely
Let's-
high
let's-
school.
let's
Because
talk
that
about
is
high
something,
school.
but that is something you can learn. It doesn't even matter whether it's music,
Yeah.
whether you work at McDonald's. It doesn't matter. Those are all the things that you have.
But see,
to know
you know,
about
that
in
is
life.
deeper than that because it goes into our curriculum. Like nowadays, they don't teach no middle school or high school, no classes like no type of business classes and nothing like that. Like so, definitely for the
got
modern
better
world,
at
like
it.
the AI and all that stuff.
I'll say this: it's not for creators. They teach it to go work for somebody else.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's what they teach. But speaking of high school students, we actually have a nonprofit called Ansifa's Family Fund, and we started a program called Sound Pathways last year, and we teach kids in high school the music business for free. We give them what do you call it, a Microsoft Surface device, and we teach them virtually. And so we have 2 educators. They co-teach the kids. You have one person who is the tech person, because they're basically what they're learning are transferable skills, so that even though they're learning stuff specifically for the music business,
Right.
they can transfer it somewhere else in case they change their
Gotcha.
mind.
See, that's a music class I take.
Yeah.
They were trying to teach us trombone.
No.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah,
these,
I
and the
wanna play.
kids,
Yeah, I was like,
the kids blew it out of the water. When I tell you, they had to pitch at the end in person.
mhm.
They had to do a pitch for an artist, imaginary artist. But when they put those pitches together, you would have thought they were somebody real. They had the data.
Crazy.
They had the aesthetics. They had the marketing plan. They knew how much money they was asking for. They knew what terms they were going to have. And then as other students in the audience, they would challenge the person as to, well, I'm the label. Why would I pay you this? You know, they actually they understood it from both sides.
They
Oh,
get
no,
it.
yeah,
That's 12
That's
weeks.
powerful.
dangerous.
That's dangerous.
You just
Yeah.
created a T-1000
For
Terminator
real.
for the labels. Like,
Well, we want these kids to know whether
Right.
some of them are artists or want to be professional full-time artists, and others of them want to work in the business. So we want to prepare them while they're in high school. You know, we want you to go on to college. You know, we want you to get more education, whether that's a certificate education or if it's a degree education. But we want
Just
you to
more
get more
education.
education
Yeah.
because that cannot harm you
Ever.
in the business.
Ever.
And so,
Anything.
but if you decide that, you know, I'm going to skip that step and I'm going to go be an intern at a label and work my way up, you're going to be prepared from day one coming through our Sound Pathways program. It's a 12-week program. The kids do an excellent job. It's free, and it is virtual. So like I said, it's once a week, so it's not too heavy on them while they're in school.
Right.
They do have homework, though. They actually have to, you know, they have to present. Someone will be on the hook to present every week,
Right.
and you don't know when it's going to be your turn. So you got to be prepared.
Oh yeah, y'all kids need to sign up for that.
Yeah, no,
Definitely.
for real, they need
Yeah,
to.
so-
Everybody needs to learn that because if that was something that us that's older have been in the game a little bit longer, if that's something that we would have known to do or even known the conversation to have, and that was the question I was going to ask you. I was before that we even got into that. I'm like, it's so hard now because, like, for little girls. And nowadays, it's the same thing for little girls. Like, I want to grow up and be a princess. And for little boys, it's like, I want to grow up and be a rapper. I want to get a record deal.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That was the
Right.
goal your whole life. Like,
Right.
so even if somebody sets it in front of you, it can be the most, it's still your dream. You know what I'm saying?
It is.
And you'll sign it depending on what situation you're in. Because
Right.
it's like you're blinded by the lights. You know what I'm
Yep,
saying? So I
yep.
was like, how do we get around that? And you kind of gave the solution. Like, we already educate you on it. You know what I'm saying? So you know
Exactly right.
what's going on. So like even if you are like, this is my record deal, like, hold on, this ain't right.
Right,
'Cause
exactly
you can
right.
read it, you read the terms and
We taught them how to break down contracts using ChatGPT last year. So
Okay, yeah.
yeah.
yeah,
See,
so-
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
like you know, it's you may not be able to afford a lawyer, but we want you to try and get one. Even if you find one that's going to just let you pay for this one contract review, get a lawyer.
Right.
But if you absolutely cannot, your family cannot, at least run it through some type of
It'll break it down for you,
ChatGPT, Claude,
tell
or
you.
something.
Yeah.
Because you
But-
can take pictures of it and it'll be
And they'll
done.
break it down
But
for
is
you
this
in layman's
is this
terms.
well though? Like if you got a situation and
Yeah.
but you might not have no money, but a label's at you, a lawyer will catch their money on the back end. Am I right?
They will, but make sure it's your lawyer
Right,
and
and
not
not theirs,
their
right.
lawyer. Do not sign a waiver.
Yeah.
Now that's a fact.
Do not sign a waiver
So a lawyer.
and let their lawyer represent you and them. You have completely different interests. Do not sign that
That's a
conflict of interest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Conflict of interest
Yes.
waiver, don't sign it. Do not. Get your own lawyer. And also, if you're going to get your own lawyer and they're willing to get paid on the back end, make sure you check out their reputation.
Right.
Make sure that they're not taking too much.
Right,
You know?
right.
Because you don't want to sign an agreement with a lawyer either, that then now not only are they paying to be your lawyer for, just this particular contract review,
Right.
but you're retaining them for everything else that you got going on, plus they'll make money off of all of the other things that you have going on.
Right.
That needs to be something that you negotiate.
So that's
not
like a
just-
lawyer 360 deal.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
You want to make sure you understand the terms that
He's
you
just
have
lawyer
with the attorney too.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, because you get big enough, that's how they get paid, and that's okay. But as long as you understand it
Right.
and you are in agreement with what that is.
So word number 2 is understanding. Word number 3 is agreement. So we got monetization, understanding your contract, and agreeing with your contract. Those are 3 things that we take. Those are gems. Take those. Make sure you monetize.
Yeah, definitely.
Make sure you understand your contract.
You can monetize as soon as you have some dedicated fans.
Yeah.
Start.
But I think that's important. I think everybody should grow their core fan base and have a good core fan base. Because I ain't going to lie, that core fan base is going to grow with you. As you get older, they get older.
Yeah.
So if you're selling merch or you're selling, of course, music. But if you're selling merch and other stuff that you got going on, like, they're going to follow you. And that's money right there. Because
Yeah.
they're willing to support you. And like, hey, I like him as an artist. And as it grows, like, you're going to win right there. Definitely if you own your own stuff and you start young.
Yeah,
And you
for
understand, like, that's what you're doing.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
I actually spoke about this on Latabia Talks Leverage. I give a new tip every Wednesday on Latabia Talks Leverage about monetizing. So, and what
On the gram, correct?
on Instagram.
On
yes.
Instagram. On
So,
Instagram. Every Wednesday.
I this last week I actually talked about growing your first 100 true fans. Just your first 100.
The 100.
Your first 100.
That's
If
not a
you
lot.
It's not a lot, but 100 true fans though. So don't go buy fans and all that kind of
Right.
crap. Followers, just get you 100 true ones. $10 a month. You have something that you're selling them. I know that
Right.
doesn't sound like a lot of money, but if you're not making any money right now,
Right.
$10 is a good
It's
start.
$250 a week.
Right. So make sure that you start there, and then after you build that consistently, get your next 100. Get your next 100, and just before you know it, you're gonna have thousands of followers that are willing to invest in you.
Right.
And you can sell multiple things. Everybody may not buy the same thing, but you figure out what your price points are. This is the time where you test out your market.
Right, right.
And figure out what their tolerance is for buying stuff. You may be able to book your own show. You may not have to wait for somebody to
Right.
book you a show.
Right.
You get you a venue. You got people that are messing with you in your own city,
Mm-hmm.
and they will come and show up for you. You make money to pay that venue off. You get a couple of brand sponsors and whatnot. Because you're working
Brand
your
sponsor.
network.
Right.
Your fans will help you,
Mm-hmm.
and let them help you, and you show up, give them what they ask for. Don't just stand there now. You got to give them a show.
Give 'em a show.
Give them a show.
Give 'em a show.
And then, rinse and repeat. Do some one-on-one listening sessions that are private, that they have to pay to attend. You can do that from the comfort of your home with some good equipment.
Yeah.
You can actually have somebody to design something for you, and like some merch or something like that. You don't have to put any money into it up front. Do pre-sales of that,
Mm-hmm.
and then
ChatGPT could do that for you.
it surely can.
I know that.
And which I don't know is when y'all order from most of these big rappers and stuff, like especially the ones that do like heavy merch and stuff like branding, including like Ye or whatever. Once you order it, they make it.
That's right.
So that's why they say 4 to
Pre-order,
8,
yeah.
4 to 6 weeks or 8 weeks, because once you order it, then they make it. It's like, what's the point? So they're coming up with the designs,
That's right.
and they're not even printed yet. Then they print it and send it over to you. So y'all are really paying for it.
Well, I mean, the thing is, I mean, they're paying for it
But
up
it's smart.
front. It's a
It's
smart
smart.
thing. There's
Yeah,
no
no,
need. There's
yeah.
no need to hold on to inventory
Yeah.
if you don't know if people are going to buy it.
Right.
So it is a smart business move, and you as a customer, you're getting what you want.
Right.
And it may not be in the time frame you want, but hey, things will speed up over time too.
Right.
You know,
Yeah,
but
exactly, right,
but
yeah.
right now, artists that have true fans can do that today.
You know what I do? I make them. If you buy my first original set I'll make you like VIP. So when if I get big later on, you'll always get the first draw.
Right, you always get the
Absolutely.
first
You get
drop.
first dibs
Right.
on
You
the
get
first
dip on
drop.
the
You know
drop.
what I
Yeah,
mean?
exactly.
That's what
do some shit
NFTs was supposed to be.
Yeah, okay.
That's what that was supposed to be before the scammers came and kind of
They
scared
crashed it.
everybody
Yeah.
away
crashed
from
it.
it. But that's exactly what it actually should be.
See, going back to when you said about that, the 100 followers, I remember when Nip was selling them $100 CDs he did.
Yep, right out of his.
My older brother, he used to be into Nip so crazy, and I was like, I wasn't really into Nip, but then I respected him because of the business move he was making. I'm like, he's selling $100 albums and signing them,
Yep.
and my brother bought one way back. This was like 10 years ago,
Oh.
and he
still
put me
got it?
down. I was like, yeah, he still got it. And I was like, man. Like that was just a smart business move,
Mm-hmm.
and I know that like now, if they would do that now, like they probably would never be signing these 360 deals and
Right.
stuff like getting themselves in those situations like that. So
And the 360 is not bad if
you know what you're doing.
you know what you're
gotta know
doing.
what you're
doing.
Exactly.
It's
It's
a
gotta be.
partnership.
It's gotta
It's
be.
just an all-around
It's gotta
partnership,
be.
right?
It's gotta be mutual benefit.
Yeah.
You can't be dependent on them.
Right.
It has to be something where you have some leverage, and then they are providing all these services for a fee at your approval.
Right.
And you are
they
in
work
agreement
for you.
because you know you can get that money.
Yeah, but
you
you
know.
gotta make sure you know what they paying. Like hey,
Yeah, it can't be the
have your
situation where.
studio set up. You know,
Right.
Why we gotta go to one day
Yeah,
studio?
well, that's what
Exactly.
that one
Hey,
rapper did.
like-
Didn't he in his invoices he built a studio in his house and he named it something and he put it on the invoice and they paid
Hey,
him
man,
for that
shout out
studio.
to
Yeah,
Flip,
time.
man.
absolutely
Flip taught me
could.
that one.
Now the thing is about that now. Remember,
Here we go.
remember,
Yeah.
that's your budget.
Yep.
So if you're charging it back to the label, you're really just charging it back to yourself.
Right.
So only what you should be doing in that situation is, I have my own recording studio, so you have your recording budget. I'm not touching that because I can record in my house.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
So
They want to take the money. and
exactly.
then-
Well,
Really,
well,
they
you
do
gotta-
boost the
you
numbers
still
up,
gotta
right? They
allocate,
boost the
you
numbers
know.
up.
well, the numbers are boosted up always, and then depending on where you go, those prices change. They range.
Right.
So one place might be $500 an hour. Some place might be $4,000 an hour. Just to be there. You haven't created anything yet, right? You're there trying to create something, and you there.
$4,000 an hour.
Yeah.
You better have Mozart in there with me.
It's New York, and I'll tell you who later.
You
But,
record in my house.
yeah,
$4,000 an hour.
Yeah.
Stay there and do whatever you
Yeah.
want.
I'll tell you, it's real.
Say
That's
that-
a real price. I'll tell you who it is. I'll tell you after this.
Sheesh.
But yes, it's a real price. But yeah, I mean,
How much they were charging Ye to record at Mercedes?
$1 million a day, wasn't it?
I have no idea.
I think
But
it
he was
a
like
million.
staying there or whatever.
That's what I'm trying to say.
But I ain't gonna lie. At that point in time, I think he could do whatever he wanted to do, and they was gonna let him do it for free.
I don't know, maybe.
But man, listen, and that's the thing. And what I tell artists, and this is what you don't know, is a lot of the major artists, and this is for the independent artists, is that not to block the studios or anything, but like she said, learn everything, like editing your videos, recording yourself, put the studio in your house. Like, do you know how good it feels to come home after a night out? You had a good night at the club, or you were out and about, and you could record that,
Yeah.
and then go to sleep, and then wake up in the morning and be like, oh, I remember I just laid it. Let me lay a melody on top of this. You know what I'm saying? And now you got a whole body of work. And you didn't spend any money. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a freedom as an artist, bro, that you will never ever appreciate until you do it. And once you do it, you will love it and appreciate it so much. And yes, you still go to the studio.
I ain't gonna lie. Most artists I know, they the best engineers, man.
Yeah.
They know
yeah?
how to engineer
Yeah.
better than the engineers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they be so, once you
Yeah.
learn how to,
Yeah.
like, you know how you want it and stuff like that. They
Yeah.
can record themselves,
Yeah.
man. They don't need nobody.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Well,
Good.
the artists that I know
Yeah.
do know how to record themselves very
Everybody.
well. So,
That's good.
Yeah, they
That's
do.
good. Look, it's a skill.
Yeah.
It is a skill.
It's a skill.
And now, you don't have to worry about getting into copyright trouble when you are able to go to certain platforms and get your beats from AI. And I know people are like, oh, that's stealing from somebody, but no, there's a company. I'm trying to think of the name right now. I can't believe it's escaping me. They are working directly with Universal Music, so you will be able to use samples that are cleared to be able to create your music.
Wow.
So just understand, that's just yet another use that the labels have for other people's music that they own.
Listen, man, y'all.
That's why you need to hold on to your stuff, so
some-
you can do it
and
yourself.
gain some leverage.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So and then that's another thing with holding on to your stuff. So I feel like intellectual property is what they want right now, right? Because I think like everybody says like invest in real estate, right? But I think they're so beyond us. They've already invested in real estate. Like this is the real estate that never goes.
But see, that's the
nowhere. You get what I'm
real.
saying?
I think that's
You need
the real
both.
estate in the.
You need both, right?
You need both.
You need both.
There's no more land being made,
Right.
So it is a finite resource.
And that's what I'm
so
saying.
get
But
you a
this
piece
is
of that,
always. But this is always being made.
Yeah.
This is always the real estate you make inside your head, especially if you're somebody as unjust.
That's like digital. It's like digital real estate.
No, it's intellectual real estate.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
intellectual property.
But
That's
yeah,
what it's
I
called.
see, yeah.
And it's like that. You have intellectual property to the day you die, and that's why, like, when Andre 3000 was like, or Prince said it too, or whatever, when it was like, if I don't use my ideas, God is like, it came from God.
That's
and,
right. That's
you know,
right.
and if
You're
he
not
gave,
using
he
your
gave it
gift.
to me, he'll give
Yeah.
it to someone else. Like these thoughts that come to my head, like that's why I gotta put them out because that's your intellectual property, and that's the reason why like they're buying up people's catalogs like crazy.
Yeah, I know.
It's like.
I mean, I get it. I get it because so many artists are in debt to their labels
Right.
that they're not really earning royalties.
Right.
So I understand them selling their portion of their catalog,
Right.
right? I mean, they're part of their ownership of their catalog.
Right.
I get it because that gets them out of debt
Right.
and they can live right now, especially if they're not performing anymore.
Right.
Right. So I get them selling their catalogs. It's an unfortunate situation, right?
Right.
Because had they had the financial literacy to understand how to leverage their catalog to be able to get money, to
Right.
invest in other things, to make money,
Right.
and then essentially buy themselves back out,
Right.
then they wouldn't have to do that.
Right.
But I do understand why they're doing it.
Right. Understandable.
It's unfortunate, though, because they didn't know in the beginning,
Right.
which is the problem we're
Nobody
trying to
knew.
solve.
Right.
That's the problem we're trying to solve, because you think about all the wealth that is that's given up long term, because like I mentioned before, long after you're gone, the music is still here. The
Right.
music lives forever, and if
sure.
somebody finds a use for it, they're listening to it, and they're like, oh, some music supervisor is going down a trail, they're looking for a placement for a movie, for a commercial, for a documentary, whatever it is that they're looking for, and they're just going through these catalogs of music, and they find something. Then they reach out to the owner.
Right.
They pay that licensing fee, and it's placed.
That's
right?
why I be believing those artists. They be like, man, he stole my shit, and I be like, it'd be like 4 years ago, and they be like, nobody heard it. I be like,
It might have been. Might have been.
You can't reinvent the wheel.
yeah.
Right. So that's why it's important for you to register your own works. And like I said, if you can, if you can afford to, because I mean, there's some situations where, you don't really have the leverage, and you have something to sell that you can't necessarily demand what you value it for,
Right.
and you may have to at that point,
Right.
give something up. But because you can always create more music.
It
but
is what it
I
is, though, right?
encourage you to build the leverage, build your fan base,
Build
so
leverage.
that you
Definitely.
do
Build
not
fan
have
base.
to be in that position, and then you'll have the leverage to be able to own your music, pass it down to your family so they own your music and they can license it. Isaac Hayes' son is
Oh, yeah.
is one of the best
Ike
examples.
Dirty.
Yeah,
Yeah,
'cause
he's
he
that
bought
guy.
Back, he bought back his dad's catalog, and all of
That's hard.
the
He's a
all
silent
of all of
assassin,
the
man.
reversions for the music as they're coming due. He's tracking them, and he's like, "Yep, it comes back to us." And so therefore he's making sure that
Sounds
he's managing his dad's legacy.
He had to go get it, but he had to fight for that. He had
did.
to go get it from crazy
He did.
people, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the owners of the music aren't going to easily give it up.
No,
That's money.
Come on, that's money.
It's money, a lot of money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They know what the
Residual.
potential is.
I know a guy who
Yeah,
owns
right.
a publishing company. He owns publishing for music that was back in the 50s, 60s, 70s. None of the songs that he owns went top 10. He's a billionaire. None of the song, not one song he owns went top 10.
Them songs from back then, they was played and played instruments. So they got sounds.
Oh my God, yes.
See, we don't really play no new sounds. Like nobody's really
That
going
doesn't
to
mean
play.
you got more people you gotta pay.
Well,
Oh, well, no, they
it's a
used to-
different sound
yeah.
though.
It's a, yeah.
Yeah, that's
like,
the synthesized
Exactly, yeah.
instruments do
This
not
way different.
sound like a real instrument being played. Like you have a
Exactly.
session player coming in there, that sound is very different
Right.
than you using your whatever machine
Okay.
to be able.
So what you're saying is that music lasts longer,
Yeah,
and it
but
has
that's
well,
why
it's
they-
different. It's
Yeah.
it's a different value because it's it's not something that you could just easily replicate.
Okay.
you can't-
Who's
Who's gonna play
so it's
that?
like an heirloom.
Who's
It's
gonna
like
play
a-
that drum
okay.
or that
I
that
got
bass
you, I
like
got
that
you.
person? Like
Nobody.
Okay,
So
so it's
you just
worth
taking
more.
the sound and
Yeah,
it's like
exactly.
that sound gonna last.
Y'all just
forever.
taught me something, and I'm
Yeah.
in the game. They just
Yeah.
taught me something. That makes more
I
sense.
learned
That
that
makes
from
sense, though.
Stevie
It
J.
makes
That's
sense.
why I love jazz music because
Yeah,
that's real
Exactly.
real musicians playing real instruments, and that's no shade to anyone else. But I absolutely love it because you can hear it and you can feel it
Right.
in the room.
Reggie, I'm gonna send you my playlist. I got a playlist of 1,000 songs that's like original, and they all get copied. Like
Yeah, you gotta send
you gonna be like, oh, that's the sample.
Yeah, you gotta
Uh-huh.
send
Oh, that's the
Uh-huh.
original.
Yes.
And then it's the sounds, bro. You can't. So you gotta.
That, bro, I never thought about that. I never looked at the perspective ever. Like, of course, like if you got like if everything's played live.
Remember, they
like,
played it
you
live,
can't
and then
you can't
how they was
remake that.
recording
Even
it,
like
it was
even
way
when you
different.
hear old songs remade, they don't sound the
Yeah,
same
because
because
they can't
at that
be.
moment, that energy at
That's
that
right.
time,
That's right. You got to
Wow.
be there for it.
you gotta be there. You
gotta
had to be there.
You had to be there.
Wow.
That's and that's how I feel when I listen to jazz music in person.
Mm.
Is that there's not going to be this experience anywhere else.
Right.
You know how big that recording studio was.
I know. That's now I'm thinking
The
about
whole
it, like,
wall full of
damn,
shit.
man. And it's like, but I had seen an interview, but I didn't relay these. I mean, put these two together. But they were like, yo, like back when we used to record on the reel to reels, like it's actual energy on these records, like because it's like recording live sound, like so that's all on the track, so you feel it, and it's like it makes all the sense in the world,
Yeah,
man.
it does. It
Wow.
does. Yeah,
Wow.
it's incredible.
Yeah. Wow.
So that's why I say, our young people, that are coming up, they don't even understand the gifts that they have.
Right.
So they should not be taken advantage of because of that.
Right.
And so if they're willing to learn,
Okay.
we want to
got
teach
you.
them in high school.
Each one teach one.
Yep. And if they're out of high school and they're on the journey right now, we'd love to be a part of their journey.
Okay.
We really would. So right now we are, like I said, we have an event coming up on September the 4th at Cliche in College Park. It's $25
Okay.
for that.
25.
It's for artists only.
We're gonna put the link down below. We're gonna
Yeah.
put the link in there.
So,
it's gonna be right down.
Yep.
down here.
If you're an artist, if you're a producer, you can come too.
Right.
But it's really artist focused. Specifically, we want to introduce them to the app, but we're also going to drop some gems while we're there with them too.
Right.
And we want to create a collaboration space for them because we want other artists to help other artists, right? So you don't have to be on this journey by yourself. When you are building a business, because that's what they're doing, it can be very lonely sometimes because everybody doesn't get it. That's not doing what you're
Right.
doing. They
Right,
don't
right, yeah,
always get it.
right.
You might have the pressure from the parents if you're still at home.
Right.
Like, man, you got to get out of this basement.
We've
You gotta
all
come
had that.
on,
We've all had that.
I ain't gonna lie. I think the music now is like the new hoop dreams. Like you know how
It
much
is.
practice we put in to play ball or
Yeah.
whatever.
But that no,
football.
that's, they don't
Like
have
you
to
know how
put
much
it in no more.
practice
And
we
that-
did.
Like that's what they felt like.
That's how music I think
that's
is
how
now.
music is
Like you
now,
gotta put that
bro.
practice in, and you gotta
Yeah.
like
You got to
go
be
to
consistent.
like how we go to practice after school to go. Like
yeah.
that's how music should be.
I
'Cause
agree.
People are making it and it's making money.
Oh, damn.
And not even just like
So I took it
Yeah.
from my perspective, somebody who was doing that every day. So I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm
Okay,
like,
yeah.
these kids now it's easy for them.
But see, you're
Yeah, but-
different. That's
yeah.
why
Hey,
you
when I
are
was
who you
my
are.
era, you had to sing, dance, act. You had to be
All
able to
of
do
it.
all of it. Like what? Like.
But that's why you are who you are, because like things change. Like
Yeah.
We give them so much now.
Right. Yeah.
They don't know what it's like to have to
They don't know.
really
They
grind
don't.
for
They
it.
don't.
They don't know what that means.
Because even me and bro was talking about that, and he was like, "You know what? You right." I was like, "You don't remember when you used to have to go to them auditions? They're like, do you sing, dance, act? Do you spin? Do you jump? Like what? Like what's your GPA? Like who's your producer? You're like 10 years old. These folks ask you these questions. Now it's like, he just made a popular song on TikTok. He on his phone.
Right.
On his phone,
and we about to give him $1 million. You know what I'm saying? That's why I was like, and like I said, me and bro, so I was like,
It's
a different era.
It is a different
but
era.
You're teaching them because that's how you be lost.
Yeah, exactly. Because a lot of the TikTok era songs are just one time, one hit wonders.
The moments.
It's just a
they
viral
don't even
moment.
Get paid off that, huh?
Yeah, no. Some of them do. Some
it's
of
like
them
the
don't.
conversion rate. Like they're not converting those songs over to like actually people listening to them.
No,
like, am I gonna play this in my car? No.
They're getting brand deals.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what they're getting.
If somebody would have put the actual Jet 2 Holiday out on Apple Music, they'd be rich right now, but they haven't.
What?
They have. I'm telling you, bro. You know how many cities I've been to, and the DJ be trying to type in Jet 2 Holiday, can't find the actual original. It's like. I'm just saying that, like, including viralness.
They probably own that sound. Whoever made that.
It's a commercial and a whole song that's put together. But if I was them, I'd have combined it. Let's make $1 million right quick. You know,
whoever owns it, they might be coming after that money from TikTok.
Jet 2 Holiday, right?
Exactly. Well, they might be licensing that too. You never know. You never know. Just like when people take pictures and video and things like that. For you as an artist. Mm-hmm. You as an artist, even though you pay them, that belongs to the person who actually shot it, right? And they don't know that. So that's why they have to do a work for hire and make sure that they actually own it. So if somebody creates a jingle for your business, the person who created the jingle owns it, not the person who paid for it.
For work for hire.
You got to have an agreement.
You
have to have it in writing.
Agreements.
Yes.
Yes.
You remember we talked about
that's important.
Yeah.
Agreements.
Yes.
Paperwork.
Yeah, you gotta
have
it.
Not the paperwork.
Have it.
And that's what not the paperwork that we don't like. You know what I'm saying? You can sign your name on this paperwork. It's agreements, real agreements.
You need that because I promise you, somebody come back to you like, oh man, I shot you on this day or whatever, and you paid me, but I'm about to put this in my photo book that I'm gonna sell, and I don't need your permission for it. Because I own these photos.
That reminds me of the Nike logo. Shawty did the Nike logo.
They just paid her for the work for hire.
Yeah, they just gave her. But no, they just But then she came back later and was like, "Hey, I need that check."
But you know what's kind of weird. I mean, and I don't know if this is exactly because maybe they got the residuals, but that's what that music back in the day they did a lot of work for hire. So that bass line that you like on Michael Jackson's record, he might have only got $500 for it. And that was it. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's like, you know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like, it's things like that, but it's also like, at least you got your credit, you got paid because it's niggas that do bass lines now. But there's a lot of people that do bass lines now that don't even know.
Yeah, I know.
And they get paid. I did a record with an artist before, and I didn't get my residuals for it until it was too late. And now I get like 14 cents every 6 months, bro. That shit helps. No, but I'm joking. But it's just
that's why it's so important. You just brought up a whole nother issue. It's understanding what your contribution is to a song when you create it, when you are collaborating with anyone, even if it's if you and a producer are working on it, and understanding your splits. It's business. I don't care if it's your best friend since you've been knowing since you were 2.
It's business.
It's business. So when you are working on this music together, you need to make sure that you are understanding before you leave that session. Dude, I contributed this much, you contributed that much. It needs to be a conversation. Nobody wants to have the conversation. They want to leave it to somebody else.
So much going on
I
in the
know.
studio.
Yeah, but sometimes,
your friend could be like, give you the whole lay down. Like, hey, say it like this and say it like that and say this, say that. He might give you the whole.
But if your partner did that, you supposed to tell your partner like, "Hey, bro, I'm finna give you like."
Look again, it's business, y'all. It's business, and so it depends on what your relationship is with your friend, because what your friendship is right now and what your friendship is later can be completely different.
Right.
Especially when people start to have responsibilities.
Right.
And they got bills.
Yeah.
It's like, wait a minute.
Well, I was in that session when I told you
I need me. I need me. Right.
Didn't I tell you that?
Right. You didn't even mention me.
It's important though.
It's important. It's important. And there's a company that I have been advising called SoundSafe, and they are they've created this technology basically that you check in as you go into the session.
Oh my
with
goodness.
a QR code or something like that. And so if you are speaking and you actually have any type of contribution, it tracks it based on that QR
That's
code.
wild.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Welcome to the future, motherfuckers.
Welcome to the future. Everybody gonna get theirs.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's the goal. That's the goal to take back your like it's like we said, it's intellectual property.
Yeah.
Like, how dare somebody try to take that away from you and not
Right.
partner
Credit
with
you.
you on
Yeah,
it and
not
credit
pay
you.
you.
But I think it's part of it. Like when you try to catch a vibe and you invite certain people to the studio or you want them in there, but a lot of times you're doing that for a reason.
Yeah,
Like,
no,
oh,
to
he
catch
was
it,
giving me
catch
the-
it.
or I
But
did.
all right, so look, like
He got the-
well,
yeah.
I watched this. Montel Jordan said when he made This Is How He Do It, I think he said he had his peoples from college come, and then in the beginning that's them on the track, and then in the background, I'm guarantee you he probably at least paid them. If not, they got a little bit of the publishing on that. You know what I'm saying? Because he wouldn't have even said it in an interview if he did, because they'd be like, hold on, we need our money.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So,
Right.
but it's like that's things that you do. Now, if you got a whole bunch of people in there, like. I had somebody hit me. He's a writer, but he just happened to be in the studio with an artist that I was working with, and he said, "Yo, I need my 3%." He called me. I said, "What are you talking about?" He said, "I helped him write that record." I said, "What you mean?" He said he was gonna say night, and I told him, it's not verbatim. He's gonna say night, and I told him say fright. So I think I should get 3% of that record, and I was like, "What?" You know what I'm saying? It's like
Right, that's weird.
right, but it's
Right.
still like you have those, so and you
Yeah.
have to be
That's why you
upfront
gotta
about
be
what's
clear.
going on, because you got those people in the room those are like people they're like vampires.
Right.
They're like leeches. They're trying to suck something out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Not saying him specifically,
Yeah.
because he might have said he contributed, but
Yeah,
have you
let
everything
me tell you
lined up in
something.
front?
Pay your songwriters.
Yep.
I absolutely do not like how that process works. I do not like how it works. I think it's unfair.
Yeah.
I think that if you are calling somebody out of their home to come to you to help you to write a song, you need to pay them to show up.
Right.
You need to pay them to show up.
Mm-hmm.
If your plumbing is not working in your house,
You got to pay that man to
you're
show
gonna
up.
pay them to show up. Whether they haven't fixed a thing, you're gonna pay them to show up.
Yeah.
So I don't care what that fee is. Y'all agree? Y'all need to come to an agreement.
And feed them.
Pay them, and if you're gonna keep them there all day, you need to feed them too.
Yep.
So I mean that part of the business, I don't like it. I know that you may be this famous person, and you have all of the eyes on you, and this is somebody that's in the background, but you called them there because you know they have a value.
For a
But
reason.
see, that's why I think it's important.
You know?
That's definitely. I don't want to say artist job, but like management.
Yeah.
It's like
The representation.
if you're representing the artist and the artist just want to be like hands off,
Yeah.
and they don't want to have those conversations, it's like,
Well, that's the
then
manager's
have your
job.
manager
Well, and
handle
songwriters
that business.
songwriters also need to be empowered. Like, okay, well, what are you paying me to come? Because if you're not paying me, then I'm not showing up.
Right.
They need to get to that position
But that
too.
because
Yeah.
they get late in the game.
But
The
I
song
feel like a
already
lot
out.
of it's
Yeah.
cutthroat. And I feel
Oh,
like
yeah.
they like
they
if
don't
I
get
don't
paid.
go,
Some
Yeah.
of them do not ever
Not
get paid.
paid.
right,
which
but if
is
they like, if I don't go,
crazy
blah blah
to me.
blah's gonna go, and the heat just gonna take whatever. Like, so it's like they feel like they gotta pull up. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
I feel
I
like
know.
songwriters
Yeah, well, see, that's just it. If everybody would
sticks
stop
to it,
doing
right.
that, right, then everybody could get paid.
Well, if DJs in Atlanta would
Yeah.
stop undercutting DJs in Atlanta, everybody would.
Get paid. I don't know what that's about because I'm not a DJ. I can't
No, I'm
speak
just
on-
saying. No, this is an ongoing thing.
But-
You haven't. This is an ongoing thing on the internet. So that was it. All right, cool.
But for songwriters, for sure, if all of them would just be like, okay, yeah, this is what my rate
Stick
is
together.
and whatnot. If I'm gonna be there past this amount of time, then I get a per diem, or you're gonna feed me or something like
Yeah.
that. But y'all gotta have the conversation and
Yeah.
treat it like business, because it's not right for a songwriter to write 70-80% of a song and not to get paid.
Right.
Like
It's
that's
business
crazy to
and
me.
opportunities. Like
Yeah.
you got the opportunity to do this,
Yeah.
and you be in the room and do that, and you're gonna give your talent, but
You heard about opportunity
you
costs?
gotta get your business right.
You heard about opportunity
All
costs?
right, even if you give the first one for free, but they do
But
it every time.
exactly.
You know what I'm
Now,
saying? Like,
if you get the first, you like,
not for
now-
free, but all right, you don't got to feed me. You don't got to give me this. You don't got to give me that. But bro, like they do it to them all the time. They treat them
I
like
know,
trash.
they
bro.
do.
They treat them like trash.
Because,
Especially in the writing camps.
Because they've been allowed to.
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
know?
like,
That's
if
been the
you
culture.
go for it,
Yeah.
Imagine writing somebody whole song,
Try.
right, and walking up to them and be like, "I'm the one that wrote your song." And they act like you don't fucking exist. You get what I'm
Right.
saying? Imagine how
Yeah.
that makes you feel as a person, not
Yeah.
as an artist.
But as
Like
a person.
your song is
Yeah.
number 1 or number 1 through 10.
Yeah.
You wrote the song.
Yeah.
Somebody else might have took it over there and they get a little
But
credit.
look,
but
they
they're
got
saying this
AI
person
now.
writing
You
it.
better watch it. You better track in.
Yeah, you
better
better check the
in.
QR code.
QR
right?
code. He said what? Yeah, hey, he got 90% of you out.
Well, that's what they're trying to also do is bring some equity into the space. So actually they're working with the government right now.
Oh, man.
They got
Shit.
look,
They
look,
took
no,
it to- hey,
on defense
Trump
stuff,
don't
y'all.
do it to us, man.
No. This is before he
That
got
is
elected.
defense stuff.
But
Hey, they got the CIA. They never brought the CIA out.
they got
Shout out to
they're,
Maui.
They're trying to get some contracts and things like that that'll sustain them. But their start was in music. Their start was in music. They really wanted to bring some equity to the space where folks do not get taken advantage of from the very beginning. So I like that the technology. I hope that it goes far. So.
Yeah, I know because she's a tech
Yeah?
she's a tech lady.
Yeah, they're gonna take
in
a
the
little
tech
percentage
world.
of that too. They gonna need
and
10%.
Oh, for sure.
So before we leave, I was going to touch on the grandmother thing, but I really want to touch on this more.
Yeah.
With females doing their thing in music right now, we don't have a lot that are like we do a couple, they're like powerful, you know what I'm saying? Sylvia and the Fuse like that, and Amber, my friend Amber Grimes. I love Amber. Hi, Amber.
Yes.
I'm so proud of her. But we don't have a lot of, and Rachie from YouTube, and it's a lot of them. It's a few, but it's a handful.
Yeah.
So what could you tell the young Delta, you know what I'm saying, that's right now trying to get in the game?
I am a Delta.
You know what I'm saying? The young Delta that's trying to get in the game, and she's looking at this right now.
Yeah.
What would you tell her? Not an artist, not a music artist. We'll ask you.
So in the business.
In the business, right? The business side of it, and tech and music.
One of the things that I would tell them is to learn as much about the business as possible, because unfortunately right now there's a lot of consolidation that's happening in the music space. So a lot of indie labels are being purchased and things like that. So you look at the 3 majors, they're conglomerates. They just gobbling up all these other small entities, and it's not just labels, it's label adjacent businesses too. So they're buying up AI companies too. So when you look at what they're doing, you should prepare yourself to be as nimble as possible in this business if you want to work in it.
Right.
You need to make yourself indispensable.
Okay.
Right. I mean, that's always been the case, but you have to understand what's happening in the industry. Watch it and be a part of whatever the future of that is. So don't be afraid of AI, because the labels are buying up AI companies, right? Don't be afraid of doing something a different way, because they're figuring out how to make money in different ways. So if you're one of those people who can figure out how to, if you don't want to be an entrepreneur, figure out how to help that company make new revenue streams, that's valuable
Be an
to
asset.
those business. You definitely want to be an asset. That's what I would tell them, because artists now that are in these old deals, they make their money from performances, because the royalty money is slow. It's what, 2 to 4 times a year that you get paid, from those.
July and December, right?
Yeah, for certain royalties. And then that process can take a long time, depending on how good your music is and how often you're putting it out and that kind of thing. So performances is king for them. Well, we have situations where performances were completely shut down, remember, at one point, so that makes them vulnerable. And then you have other times where you have some of the festivals and things this year, for whatever reason, we didn't have them.
Economy.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
well, it's a global thing. So
For sure.
So you think about that. So if that was a revenue stream for artists, right? That a major one for them. What else can an artist be doing? That's a major, right? We talked about indies and things like that, but what are the major artists going to be doing in order to compete? Because what I see in the future is that we're going to have fewer of them.
Right.
We went through this big signing phase about 2 years ago.
everybody.
So we were signing everybody about 2 years ago. And now what I predict is that that's going to slow down. So if you're someone who's working in this, that's going to be working in this business, I think you need to be understanding how all of these changes relate and where you best fit in so that you can compete with the people who've been in it for a long time, as well as folks who want to get into it.
Right. Okay. Well, I heard it, man. I want to thank you first and foremost. How long have we been going? Because we just been sitting here like I'm enjoying myself. Oh, right. Oh, so I thank you for coming here for JG. You want to like?
I got one more question.
Go ahead.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, look. So this is our camera right here. You look into this one. If you had to tell an artist, like, what's the most important thing about being an artist, like, or like, just like if you wanted to read it, like if an artist was listening to this and they was like, and you had to tell them one thing, what's the one thing you would like get out to them, like, and tell them?
If there's it's just one thing. Oh, it's hard because there's so many things.
There's so many things. I know there's so many things, but like the first thing you'd be like, hey, look,
the top keynotes.
Okay. Number one is understand the business that you're in.
Understanding.
If you understand your business, then you will be able to navigate all of the obstacles and the opportunities that come your way. Understanding your business means that you understand how you get paid, who you work for, which is yourself, because you don't work for a label even if you get signed. Understanding your intellectual property rights, all of them, because each right has a different way for you to get paid. So it's important for you to understand that, how to build a team.
Team is important.
How
team
to
is
hire
key.
and fire people and still maintain good relationships.
Hire and fire people. I like that one.
You know, so understanding your
Because
business
it's business.
is very, very
It's just
broad.
business. Business is business.
You know, understanding contracts, negotiations, and understanding that if you are not strong in certain things, find the right people who are. Because you're one person. So as you're growing as an artist, you know, make sure that you're building a strong team. There's nothing wrong with your homeboys or your homegirls if they're working. You know, if they're just, you know, around, that's not what you need. That's not a team. Those are just your homeboys and things like that.
And homeboys find something to do.
Yeah, you need them to be working for you, because if they for real, you should be finding them something to do. Find out what they're good at.
Free flights add up, right?
You know, who's your fashion person? Who's your graphics person? Who's your engineer, producer person? You know, who's your connector? Who's your person that's your negotiator, that's gonna get you bookings and things like that. You know, you could have your team can be the people that you know and grow up with, but everybody has to want it and everybody has to work.
For sure.
So understand that you need to learn your business because you are in business as an artist. So
1,000%.
You got it.
You heard it.
Yeah.
Understand. You got to understand your business, right?
Yep.
So the words we took away was monetization, is understanding, and agreements.
Yes.
For my artists, understand that. Those are the things
Yep.
that y'all take with it. We want to thank you for coming with us and like coming to us, just being down here in the city. We call it 12AM Peachtree because we're right here on Peachtree. You know, you got a fire backdrop back there. You know,
it's nice.
and you know, season 2, and we're just glad to have you as a guest. And you came down here and you pulled up on us in the city. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So thank you for coming. Appreciate you.
I'm glad to be here. Thank you all for having me. I appreciate you both for inviting me on your show.
No problem.
Definitely.
Thank you for having
And
me.
download
Who's Got Next
Who's
music.
Got Next
Yes.
for sure.
Who's Got Next
On all
music.
apps.
Yes,
On
yes,
all app
on all
stores.
platforms.
All platforms.
Yes, go get it. It's
Yes.
free. Download it. We want to see you in our lobby.
Yes, man. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all, man. It's 12 a.m. on Peachtree, just in case you didn't know.